Hi people, welcome to Katsintuition. I'm Krystal Kat, and in this video I will be doing a VR to Chanel over at Chanel Days. This is the mid-year tarot tag. I love her videos. She seems so sweet. She's such a beautiful person, and I thought that this would be a fun tag to not only participate in, but also to be able to look back on. So we will jump right in. Number one is the deck you've used most so far in 2024. And for me, that deck would be the Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. I do have a walkthrough of this deck. Also, I have mentioned it, or it is shown in my birthday haul, or the 10 Days of Krystal, if you would like to check those out. You can see more on this deck. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the use of light in this deck. It's amazing. It really does look like so many of these images are just illuminated. And that's beautiful to me. I love the foiled borders and titles. I like how the titles are there if you need them, but if not, you know, it's not this bold, big, huge border in your face. And also, if you have noticed, these are not your typical card images, right? The Lovers, here's Three of Cups, Page of Pentacles, here's the Chariot. So I really love that this deck is unique in imagery because I feel like it allows your intuition to really flow and just be free. And it's good. It is so good. And the reason why this has been the most used in 2024 so far is because, as I mentioned, I was given this for my birthday in May, and already I have used it so very much. It's like I haven't wanted to put it down. It went straight to work for not just family and myself, but also for clients. Very clear reader. And I love, it's so very my aesthetic. It's got that dark aesthetic. Not so much image-wise. The images are not dark. It's a happy deck. It's an uplifting deck, I feel. But as you see, the cards are in design, in image, very dark. But I love that because it gives that light even more oomph on the cards that you do see the light coming in. Like, for instance, this is the Five of Cups. Look how beautiful. It's not your typical imagery, but you totally can pull in all of the feelings off of the Five of Cups there. Here's the Three of Swords. It's so good. So that, for me, was the deck that I have used the most so far in 2024, and that is the Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. Okay, prompt number 2 is a new deck that came into your collection. So this year, as I mentioned, because my birthday just passed, I have actually brought in quite a few. I was blessed. I was gifted many decks. But I was recently and I was going to show one of those that I had already shown in a birthday haul, right? But my mother actually surprised me yesterday with a new tarot deck. So this is what I will show you. This is the Lost Soul Tarot. Beautiful black, white, and gold imagery. I really am already in love with this deck. I love the dark aesthetic, of course. That is my jam. I love it so much. Look how beautiful this is. Now, the cards or the images seem so simple in design, but the images that are on the card are very intricate designs. What I mean by that is simplicity in the way that there are not a lot of scenery, background scenery going on, right? But if you look at the individual image in the card, you can see so much detail. There's great intricacy in these cards, and I really do love that. Now, I just received this yesterday, as I mentioned, so I haven't been working with it that much, but I did do a couple readings just to be able to play around with it, and oh my, I really do like it. Now, this is a pip deck, as you see here, but oh, it's so beautifully done. For instance, here's the Six of Wands, and it looks like they have been dipped in gold. Oh, and I love it. I just love it so much. Look at these beautiful gold cups. So very pretty. Oh, I'm so glad we have Death popping up because I really wanted to show this card. Look how beautiful. Death is one of my favorite cards to look at in a deck. Look at him. So done up, so made up. Oh, he is. I love that depiction. So as you see here, just Pip, but I have come to appreciate Pip decks as it allows your intuition to really pull in the messages and not get bogged down by anything. So pretty. Here's our magician. Look at those cups. The detail on them is just amazing. Here's our page. I just love the imagery and how they drew the few people images that we really do have. And really, you don't even see faces. Look at our emperor here. So pretty. This is definitely going to be a deck that I love for a long time to come. So yes, that is the very, very most recent deck I have received in my tarot library, and that is the Lost Soul Tarot. All right, so prompt number 3 is most anticipated deck that was released this year. And I actually have 2. One is more playful, one is more serious. I saw that Insight Editions is coming out with a Beetlejuice deck. Oh my goodness. Okay, just for funsies, I have got to bring that deck into my tarot library. I think it's going to be so fun. I love that movie. My daughter loves that movie. Just the family just loves that movie. So I think it'll be a great addition to my Insight Edition decks. And the other one on the more serious side is by Syrian Shadow. Absolutely love this creator. I have 2 of his Oracle decks, and he's good, both in design and quality, production. It is so good. And this deck is the Gothic Literature Gothic Literature Tarot deck. So yeah, those are decks that I would love to be able to pull into my tarot library. They are beautiful. Number 4 is the biggest disappointment. Now, on this one, I don't really have an answer. I'm lucky and happy. I guess not lucky, but I'm happy to say that I am not disappointed with any decks in my collection. There is only one truly that comes to mind, and it would be this one, the Divine Doors. Now, this did not just come into my collection this year, nor was it put out this year, but one thing about this deck I don't like is the messages on the back. Now, I absolutely love this deck. I love the little pictures, images of all of these wonderful doorways. I actually use this for my pick a doorway or pick a card tarot readings you can find on my channel, and these are perfect. I love using it for that. I think it's so fun. You just pick your doorway and it takes you to your reading. So I love it for that function. I do. But the messages on the back are, they're just lacking to me. But I also have to keep in mind that I did read the back. It says that this is a 40 card inspiration deck, not an oracle deck. And so, yeah, I have to tell myself, well, it's not intended as an oracle deck. So, yeah. But that would be my only disappointment, really. Or just, it'd be cool if the messages on the back had a little bit more oomph to them. But other than that, I don't have any decks that I'm disappointed in, and I'm happy about that. So this was Divine Doors. Okay, so number 5 is the biggest surprise, and for me, that would be the River Oracle. Now, the reason why this is the biggest surprise to me is this is a collage deck, as you can see, and I have never been one to be attracted to collage art, collage oracle, collage tarot, none of that, right? And I'm a creative. I craft, I draw, I scrapbook, I journal, I do all the things, and my style has never been collage. But when I saw this deck, oh my goodness, it pulled me in so much and I fell in love. So that is why this has definitely been a personally big surprise to me. And the fact that I love it so much just speaks volumes to, for lack of a better word, the power of this deck. The impression, there we go, that this deck has made on me has been huge. I was talking recently about this deck, and I was going on about how there are no keywords, which I love, no key phrases, which I love, nothing but artwork. They are numbered so that you can find them in the book, but other than that, that's it. And I was going on about how not even the book had keywords or key phrases, and actually I found I was wrong. You get the title of the card, full image, and then here you get like a little write-up on it, and I never even noticed at the bottom that they do give you, I suppose, what could be considered a key word. For instance, here is generosity. I don't know, I guess I overlooked it. But what I like about this deck is that there are none on the card, so I will not even be referring to those, because that card that I just showed and the keyword was generosity, I don't see that as generosity. And these cards allow fully for your intuition to flow, to thrive, and that to me is everything. You see? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And I believe that this deck gives you a good balance between more darker cards, meaning that maybe you would feel deeper emotions, than maybe more light uplifting ones, you know? And I love that. Like here we have some nice fruit, I guess. And here we could really get into some darker imagery. But so yeah, I feel like there's a really great balance, and this was a huge shock, a huge surprise to me. I'm so glad to have it. This is definitely never going anywhere. I feel like this is very vital and valuable in my practice. And that is the River Oracle. All right, so number 6 is a deck crush, a deck you're in love with. Now for me, those kind of feel like two different things, like a deck crush and a deck you're in love with. Decks I'm in love with would, of course, for always be my True Black and my Tarot of the Cat people, but a huge deck crush that I have that is not going away is the Haunted Manor Oracle. Now, I did just mention this artist. This is Syrian Shadow. I was talking about production, and just look at this. I love all of the foiling, the red foiling inside and outside on the box. Production is absolutely beautiful. I most definitely care about cardstock, and this cardstock is so beautiful. Look at these backs. This is me if I was an Oracle deck. I love the red and black color scheme. That's me all the way. I'm always in black. I love the darker, moody colors. These keywords and key phrases that they have, or the little sentence, right, is so good. I'm impressed. I am really impressed with this. This is essentially you walking through an abandoned, haunted manor and seeing all of the things that were left behind. And, oh, again, you see this beautiful structure back here. I love castles. This is just me in an Oracle deck, and I absolutely love it. This makes me happy. It just feels good. Look at this, Rose Garden. I could totally see myself going in there and drawing or writing, and bouquet, make peace with it. Look how beautiful. It really has that hauntingly beautiful imagery, and oh, it's so good. Syrian did an amazing job. I appreciate his artwork, his production, all of it. Oh, this will forever be one of my favorites as well. This is Black Cat. I have such a special such a special place in my heart for black cats. I had a black cat named Osiris. He has passed now for a few years, but I miss him. I have another black cat now. His name is Noche, and he's such a sweet, sweet baby. So yes, this is a deck crush, and that is the Haunted Manor Oracle. Okay, so number 7 is favorite tarot card. This was definitely hard to pin down and pick just one, as I have a few, but I did, and it comes from my beloved deck, the True Black. This deck is everything, and it is the Strength card. I absolutely am in love with this imagery. She stands so very tall amongst this huge snake that's wrapping around her. She's holding broken arrows in her hand. You can see all of these axes and swords and arrows and everything around her, and it's just like she's standing so tall, so confident, so beautifully in the midst of all of this destruction, chaos, stress, all of it, and she's standing. She has a sword here at her feet. You can see the snake has an arrow going through it, and still they are here in the center of it all, not backing down, and it's just beautiful. I really do appreciate when there is a nice balance in a strength card. I don't like imagery when one character or figure is dominating the other one, so I really appreciate this. I love it. They did such an amazing job. And that is from the True Black Tarot. So number 8 is a deck that makes you happy, and this would definitely have to be either, of course, the True Black or my Tarot of the Cat People. This was my very first deck ever, as in this very copy here. As you can see, it is showing its wear and its love. It is no longer white. I don't think that's coming across in video, but anyways, so I love it. Every time I work with this deck, it just feels, well, it feels like home. There is a comfort here. When I hold this in my hands, I feel that, just that vibrancy. I feel that warmth, that electricity, right? That I don't feel in all of my other decks. This one is so unique. It has been true love at first sight. I was given this deck back when I was 14 by my mother. And it will always, always be number 1. There will never be one that can top this deck. Not even my beloved True Black. This one is number 2 only, because number 1 will always, always be this deck. It makes me happy. I love the artwork. She did such an amazing job. These were all hand done, and if you see, she stippled all of this. I can't imagine the work that went into each and every card. And not only that, this is one of my most favorite death cards. Most favorite. So many decks I would look at, and they were compared to this deck here, to this card, because it is so good. Also, the Tower card in this one is so good. I had to not choose from this deck for the prompt before about my favorite tarot card, because oh my gosh, I love it so much. There's so many. So anyways, as I was saying that, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, and this moon card as well. Anyways, I don't even know what I was saying at this point. I just know that this deck, oh, I was talking about the book, that not only did she do such an amazing job in the artwork, in the book she creates this whole world based around these people. I mean, from government and to how each of the suits are like a different region of people and their interests and their strengths and things like that. And it's so good. It is so good. So this deck, beyond all others, makes me supremely happy. This is the deck that started it all. This is my love. Yes, so this deck makes me happy. And that is the Tarot of Cat People. Okay, number 9 is most beautiful deck this year. I believe this deck came out this year, 2024. I'm not sure. I have looked in the book. I cannot find any date anywhere, but I really do believe this was 2024. Now, I have many beautiful decks. Also, yes, decks that did come out this year or that came into my library this year, but for sake of not repeat showing decks, right? This one, the Ethereal Shadow Tarot. Again, I have looked through this little book. I have looked all around the box. I cannot find it, but like I said, I do believe that they said this came out this year. I love the shape of this deck. It has that slender, long look to it, and that is so good. The cardstock is amazing. It's got that nice, like, swish swish type cardstock, as I describe it. Just like the same cardstock from the Haunted Manor Oracle and the Tildwick Tarot. also the Baroque Tarot, that kind of cardstock. It's so very good. Now this is also so very my aesthetic. As you can see, it's that dark imagery. Also not your typical imagery, right, for the cards. So another deck here that really influence or allows your intuition to thrive and flow freely. It's so good. It's just so beautiful. I really appreciate this deck. As you can see, yes, it is AI, but it's AI done in a way that they used it, but then they go back and they tweak it so that the images aren't, you know, like if you have like a hand and they leave it with just like 2 weird fingers or 3 weird fingers and it's all contorted or whatever. They actually, look at this death. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. You can really tell that this deck, time was taken on it, and oh, it's so good. There's also another deck out that looks very similar to this one. It's by the same creator. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now, but yeah. So this to me is just very beautifully done. I love it so very much. There's so much going on. There's so much detail, so much that your eye can go to. So with every reading, of course, you're going to be seeing different things. Your eye is going to pick out different things to focus on, and that really sparks all of those intuition driven messages. So this was the Ethereal Tarot. Okay, so prompt number 10 is, what deck do you want by the end of the year, or are you still waiting on? So there's a few, of course, other than a deck, the 2 that I mentioned earlier, Beetlejuice and Gothic Literature. I will again try to find photos that I can place here. Hopefully I find some good ones. Shadow Fates. I just, again, love the darkness and the whole vibe of that deck. There is a cat tarot. They just show all, and I'm a cat lover all the way, and I just think that this is a very beautifully done cat deck. It reminds me, it is not the same imagery, right, but it reminds me of Ababa Studios, their cat tarot. I can't remember the exact name of their cat tarot, but yes, where the cats look so regal and they're dressed up. I actually like this one better. And of course, the price point would be so much better also. And also, one more is I believe the name is Floral Dance Tarot. It is such a beautifully done Halloweeny deck. It's so purple. I love purple. But it's vibrant oranges and purples, and it just really pulls in that Halloween vibe, and Halloween, love it all the way. So yeah, those would be 3 decks that I would love to pull into my tarot library. Now, number 11 is, which deck hasn't been used yet, but you want to work with it this year? I actually have one for this, and that would be the Flow Tarot. It came in this very nicely done bag. I am Taurus. I'm an earth sign, but oh my goodness, I am so drawn to the water. It is so peaceful to me. I am blessed to live minutes away from the beach. I definitely need to go more often because it really does calm me. It is so much fun. It's so relaxing. It's so good. This deck, it feels deep. It feels, you know, this is totally overthinking it, but this deck feels like a deck I only want to use when I'm in a calm, very grounded state of being. Which I know, you know, we think water, right? We think more emotional and we pull in our intuition and all of that. But yeah, that's why to me it feels so deep. It feels, whenever, okay, I am in love with water in every form. When it rains, I am so freaking happy. Everybody says that a rainy day for them is a dreary day and they want to go to sleep. And for me, I'm like, oh my God, no. If I sleep during the rain, I'm going to miss it. And I don't want to miss it. Thunder is one of my favorite sounds. I just, water, it's so good. It's so grounding. It's so deep. It's so alive. It's just so beautiful. And I do pull this deck out, and I will do as I am doing now and just take in the images, and it allows my brain to escape, almost as though I am going to the beach, right? It allows that escape, it allows that quiet to set in, and it allows those feelings of being more grounded to come forward. And I appreciate this deck for that. I like that there are no human figures in here, no buildings, no structures, none of that. It's all nature. She did a beautiful job on renaming the suits and staying to a theme in each of the suits. I'm wowed by this deck and how well the creator did it. It came so nicely packaged as well. The care that was taken is very much appreciated. And so yeah, it's like I don't want to use this unless I am completely grounded and in the right mindset, which I of course want to be that way when I approach any of my decks, right, or go into any reading, but this one just feels a bit more profound, I guess because of my connection to water and how it makes me feel, perhaps, maybe. But I am definitely going to start using it. It's time. It is definitely time. I am coming to a place in my life where I am wrapping up a lot of tough things that have been lingering in my past. I could do without the frog images. I believe there are 2 in this deck. I wish there weren't any. But it's been craziness for too long, and things are finally getting wrapped up, and I'm able to begin moving forward, and I feel myself being drawn more and more to this deck. It's almost like, this is going to be my breath of fresh air, and yes. And the more I'm looking at it right now, I think, yeah, it's time. It's time for me to break this deck out and utilize its groundedness that it calls to me. So yes, so this was the Flow Tarot. All right, and number 12 is a favorite video you have made, and I would go with most recently. Okay, so this is the favorite video you've made this year, not just all around. So I would actually think I have one called the Taurus You're Extra, or Taurus Lux, and I go over the vibes. I go over the decks that give me that Taurus energy, right? We like our material items. We like things to be nice and quality and fancy and luxurious. So I really enjoyed that because I was able to pull out my quote-unquote nicer decks, right? All with gilded edges and just extra-ness. I like all of that. So I would say, yeah, that was one of my favorite videos. I did a little hashtag. I should promote it more, actually. So if you want to join in on it, that'd be super cool. I put hashtag Taurus You Extra. So if you have any decks that you feel pull in that extra-ness or that luxe vibe that a Taurian would love, definitely show me. I would love to see them. Maybe build to my tarot want list, right? All right, so that concludes this VR. Thank you so much to Chanel for creating this, and yeah, nothing but love. Bye.